Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So today I want to show you how to dynamically collect data. Sounds simple and I hope it's going to be simple. But it's safe to assume that if you're watching this video, if you got here, well, you've worked with a form of data, and it's safe to assume that you might publicly hate data, but secretly you love working with it. And in a lot of cases, we all have seen data that we thought, why did you type this field this way? Or why did you enter this entry in this specific way? And it gets just hard, let's say. And I'd like to standardize that, to find a way to help us standardize that. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. The aim of this channel is to show how to use AI to piece all of this together. Now, a little bit of backup of this story. I'm a landscape architect by training. I studied that and I learned a lot about plants back in university days. That was a while ago. But I secretly enjoy all type of trees, and I still remember plant identification and the naming and whatnot. And in the grand scheme of things, I thought I want to work on an AI-enabled solution that will help me collect tree data in the most easy way, a replicable solution, which, spoiler alert, that's gonna be coming as we move forward through these videos. So I've been working on that solution and I've been piecing out together a way to extract trees and then expose them to the field so someone can go and collect some pictures. And then from these pictures, we extract information of the name of the tree, for instance, the common or Latin name, the height, the canopy width, etc. Now, as I'm working on this, I mentioned AI comes in a lot of places. And for today, I thought I'm going to leave you with a short demonstration. So with no further ado, I want to jump to my screen and show you how I was piecing together the data collection workflow. Let's do that. So on my screen, I'm in ArcGIS Online, and you can see a bit of different layers. Everything is really triggered by the hosted layer, plant identification AI, which on top of it, I've built multiple views, some of it for an approver, some of it is for a collector. Don't let this scare you. There's going to be a solution that you can just replicate that. A simple way you can deploy, and if you want to replicate the same workflow, but not for today. In this workflow, I have a collector map where the person goes and collects data. Now, this map would look something similar to this. I've got a layer and there's multiple fields in that layer. I'd like to, fields and points. I'm mainly showing pending review, in review, approved, rejected, etc. And as I go in here, I can see these different points, and they're for trees. They're AI extracted trees, and some of them I've been picking up and trying to work on a form of solution for identification of these trees. Now I've noticed that I'd like to have the location not only as an X and Y. I'd like to have the country name because other people might be collecting data. So if I zoom out a little bit, you can see I've got here a data set. And a simple use case, if I jump to my JavaScript SDK component, I can get information about that data. If I go and I asked the AI agent that I have how many trees are collected in the Netherlands, for instance, I can't do that. So I want to collect that data of the Netherlands, of the city, of the admin boundary, and I'd like to use authoritative data for that. I don't want the user to go and add every time Netherlands or the Kingdom of the Netherlands, and then South Holland for the state, etc. So I'd like to dynamically do that. Therefore, IMB have a portal for global datasets that I was able to find online, public data of global datasets, and I'm going to use one of their features in this workflow, which got all the admin boundaries. And my theory is, if I'm a collector in the field and I can go and drop a point for a tree or pick an existing point for a tree, it automatically intersects some geographies as the country, then the state, then the county or municipality, depending how is it done, down to the street. And I'd like to really dynamically collect all of that data to save time and to make sure that I don't open places for errors and typos and whatnot. I want to do that without recreating a full schema. So what I'm going to do is, we've seen the map. I'm going to go back to ArcGIS Online, click on the applications, and I'm going to open Field Map Designer. As this is loading, we're going to see a layer, which in this use case, I've got collector identification. You might see staging also. This is for the solution in the back end to redeploy this. So not worry about it for now, but our main focus, collector. I'm going to open this guy. And then I'm going to work on the form that I want the end user to see on their mobile app, which we'll also see later on. Videos will come for that. I can see that I've already have some fields configured, and I can see all the other fields here. I want to start with country name down here and country code below it. Just drag and drop. Then I'm going to go in, leave the defaults for now. I don't want it to be editable. I want it for now to be visible as I'm testing, because this might also in the future be something that I don't want to overwhelm the collector with. It's data that I trust and I'm just going to grab in. So I'm going to go in and you see I have some expressions calculated. As I was working on this, I was like, yeah, I need to get this out. So let's work on this specific use case. I'm going to click a new expression. And then you will see an arcade editor, an arcade assistant. I'm going to open that one. I've shown it before in the web map. It also exists in Experience Builder, by the way, and in field calculations. So different places where you can utilize this assistant. And what I want to do here is, I hope this is still there. Yes, I'm going to paste it, generate it, and read through it. From this portal item ID, I gave the item ID in the portal. Note that I gave ArcGIS here. That's essential just for the web adapter item or web adapter name. Find the first feature in sublayer 4. It got 4 layers, admin 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 got all of the information of the above. So I'm going to go directly to that sublayer that intersects with the 3 location. If you find a feature, return admin 0 name. That's the name of the field. Otherwise, return null. There we go. And it referenced one of my best arcade functions. Feature set by portal item. You just reference the item or the portal, get the item ID, and then return the fields. I'm interested in this only. I don't need these. I think I'll be able to delete them and then return this. Not bad for a first go. I'm gonna go and delete these guys. I'm actually, before I wanna just run. It works. It works because it takes these. I just don't need these. So let's go in, and that's the idea of AI, right? It gives us a working thing, but just to understand what we're doing, I'm gonna create here admin 0 name. I'm interested in admin 0 name just to keep things good, and I'm gonna do admin 0 name for the intersects, geometry of the feature, and then I'll do here 0, and I'll do here 0. Oh wait, Control Z, another 0 here for consistency. That is correct, and that's the last one. If I run this, let's see, still the same. So that's exactly what I want. Got the feature by item, and then I did the first intersection from the admin 0 and the geometry, return back the field name, which is admin 0 name. Done. Let's click done here, and that's it. I want to also calculate the country code, and I know there's an admin 0 CD. For that should be also a simple one. I'm gonna go into it's a new expression. That's a point I missed. Let's open this guy and go and name it to name IMB, maybe country. Perfect. Done. And then one more time, go in here. Now I know which one, duplicate it and edit arcade. And then I'll delete this and I'll change this to code. And then let's go in here and I want to change this to CD. This stays admin 0. First admin 0 item. And in here, CD. And run. There we go. NLD. I didn't have to use the assistant again. Know what I got out there? Simple edits. Done. And these are, in theory, done. I want to test. I can do that through field maps. I promise we're going to see that soon. But I'm just going to go to my plant identification map because you can quickly test from here. Refresh the page. Once I get the data, I'll edit through a new point and then we'll see what happens. The easiest way is double clicking, then this will open automatically and then edit and then new plant identification. You can work on the form of this in forms template, but as I'm just adding the point and the user is entering no other data, it's relatively simple and I don't have different workflows. So not a problem. I'll zoom in here and then just click a point and you automatically see Kingdom of the Netherlands NLD. So that is properly corrected. So away, I'm gonna add all the other fields, by the way, down to the street name and an address to expose that later to the agent. Now, one thing that I can actually look at is a final point. Well, let's give it a refresh. I don't want to save these edits because they're not proper tree points, but I want to show you something else where Arcade Assistant came in with this pop-up. So this is a full pop-up that you see how it's now not applicable. These have not been collected while this has been collected, and I can see who did it and a picture of the tree. And this was made again through Arcade. So as a teaser, if we go to pop-ups, we're gonna see here an Arcade expression. You can go edit expression, and then I can see a full HTML format in here. How I did this, the same way here. It's a while ago, so it doesn't exist as a prompt, but we'll get to that at a later demo. For now, thank you for watching this long. If you've enjoyed this, please watch other videos, subscribe to the channel. I'm always working on getting the latest in what ArcGIS is offering from this perspective. And I'm looking forward to see you soon. Bye for now. Bye.